When Carpuride approached me to review this CarPlay product, my initial thought was, why do I need one? But then I have changed my mind. Here are 10 reasons why. The Honda Transalp 650 is a motorcycle from a different time. It is over 20 years old. No ride modes, no TFT display, no Bluetooth. Just a dependable V-twin ready to go almost anywhere. So when I bolted a modern CarPlay screen onto it, I wondered if I was ruining the simplicity that makes this bike so special. After thousands of kilometers between Ireland and Romania, I think I found my answer. Today's video isn't just a review of the Carpuride display. It's about whether modern technology actually adds something useful to an old adventure bike, especially when you take on adventure riding and long distance touring. This is my honest opinion based on the experience with this device. I've now used this system on both my Harley-Davidson Road King and my Honda Transalp 650, and here are 10 reasons why Carpuride is going to stay on my motorcycles. Also, only one reason why you might hesitate. This one is personal. Years ago, I destroyed an iPhone by mounting it directly onto my Harley Sportster. The vibrations damaged the camera stabilization system and the phone never worked properly afterwards. I don't want that happening again. Now my phone stays safely in my jacket pocket while the Carpuride does all the work. For me, that's reason enough to own one. Every rider knows the frustration. Tiny phone icons, gloves that don't quite register, stopping just to zoom the map. The Carpuride larger screen makes everything easier. The interface is very responsive even with normal riding gloves. Even simple tasks like changing music or confirming navigation are much less distracting while riding. One feature I really like is the optional side controller. On my Harley I installed it on the handlebars and it's fantastic. The physical buttons make quick action simple without reaching for the touchscreen. Unfortunately, the Transalp's handlebars don't leave enough room for it with my current setup, so I couldn't fit it there right now, but I will mount it soon. But if you have the space, I definitely recommend using it. The display is large enough to read at a glance, but doesn't dominate the cockpit. Even riding through the bright sunshine of Bucovina, visibility was excellent. It looks modern without making the old Transalp lose its character. The split screen became one of my favorite features during the trip. Navigation on one side, music on the other. No switching between applications. No guessing what's currently playing. Skip, forward, stop, list. All music functions are only one touch away. Google Maps navigation that I use all the time is so much easier. It's such a simple feature, but one that genuinely improves long touring days. Now, some of you might be wondering, why not simply use a dedicated motorcycle GPS? I've used traditional GPS units over the years, and while they're extremely capable, Apple CarPlay combined with Google Maps offers several advantages that are difficult to ignore. First, the maps are always up to date. Second, route planning is effortless. Third, live traffic information is invaluable. Another advantage is search capability. The downside is the need of an internet connection, which in some places may not be possible. But for the kind of touring I do, traveling on beautiful roads, exploring villages and discovering places along the way, CarPlay with Google Maps simply feels easier, faster and more intuitive. I was pleasantly surprised by the mounting options included. For both the Harley and the Honda, I had everything I needed to install it securely. Carpuride even offers BMW and Harley specific mounting systems if you want an even cleaner installation. The mounts feel solid and inspired confidence even on rough mountain roads. I was concerned it may fall apart when taken off-road, but that is not the case. The display shows ambient temperature from the TPMS sensors, although that is a bit awkward to find on the screen. That might sound like a small detail, but it meant I could remove the separate digital thermometer I'd been using. One less accessory cluttering the handlebars. Sometimes the best upgrades are the ones that simplify things. TPMS is my biggest reason of all.
Atunci te-ai pus acolo la valvă, ți-ai pus senzori?
Da.
Ce bine.
TPMS is tire pressure monitoring system. If you buy a device with this must-have option. When you're riding through remote mountain roads, a slow puncture can quickly become a serious problem. The TPMS gives you advance warning before the tire becomes dangerously flat. That saved me once in the deep of Irish mountains when I left the air pump on a different bike. I was able to return in time to civilization. Knowing that I've got a puncture before I actually feel it, it could be the difference between reaching civilization and being stranded in the middle of nowhere. For me, that's not just convenient, that's a genuinely safety feature. One thing I noticed during the Bucovina trip is that I spent less time thinking about technology and more time enjoying the road. I wasn't stopping to check my phone. I wasn't taking gloves off to zoom up or change music. No fiddling with connections, the Bluetooth just works. Voice control with Siri or Google Assistant, very useful without taking your hands off the bars. Everything I needed was available at a quick glance or touch of a button. And that is now on an old bike. Ironically, adding technology to the bike actually made the riding experience feel simpler and more relaxed. And for me, that's what touring is all about. No product is perfect. The only real downside I found is my phone's battery consumption. Because the phone is constantly connected wirelessly and running navigation, after about 6 hours the phone battery will be nearly empty. For long touring days, you'll want to keep your phone plugged into a charger or connected to the bike's power supply. That's really the only compromise I've experienced. But that is the same for all CarPlay devices. I started this experiment wondering whether a classic motorcycle really needed modern technology. Now, I don't think of the Carpuride as technology at all. I think of it as another touring accessory, like heated grips, or panniers, or a better seat. It doesn't take away from what makes the Transalp special. It simply makes solo traveling easier, safer, and more enjoyable. And that's why this old workhorse has learned a few new tricks. And I don't think it's ever going back. If you consider purchasing a Carpuride device, there is a 30% discount code in the description. That is a reward for watching this video until the end. Thanks for watching, and as always, just go. Go ride.